Well, hi, how are you doing? I'm Shane with Shane's Reviews. I hope that your day is going great. So, what are we going to do today? Maybe something a little different. Let's mix it up. The comments in our videos. I feel like I have done a bad job here lately because there's been so much that we've been up to that I haven't really been able to do it. So I'm going to read them. We're going to do two sections. We're going to do one which is the held ones, and then we're going to do one that has to do with just the regular review. So at the very back of it, 4 months ago, and I can feel that. He says, LMFAO, my comment is so long, I always get a little embarrassed when you show my comments because I'm such a rambler. Me too. Don't worry about that. Feel free. Ramble on, man. We'll check it out. The second book that I've read this year is, name dropping already, Nomenon. And it's challenging as well. I got it when it came out years ago and gave it 5 tries, but never lasted more than 2 or 3 hours. It seems like a book that I would actually very much enjoy. So, Books for Bound, thank you for the comment. Your comment is approved, by the way. I don't know why it was in held. Approve it, please. All right, the next one, which is, oh, yeah, yep, that's not YouTube friendly. That's why that comment was held. You are going to be blocked because that is porn. If you want to have a good conversation about porn and sex toys, that sort of a thing, I suggest you check out Charlie. That man, he knows what's up. Like Calvin Wolf, Sphere Review. Calvin Wolf said, thanks for all the content, man. Keeps me away from the bad books and steers me in the direction of good ones. Much appreciated. Thumbs up, heart. Done. Lynette on this one. About sending drones down. The book was written in 1987. I'm not sure what level of technology was actually available back then, though a drone did discover the Titanic in 1985. Very insightful and true. Even Lynette on Sphere was... she didn't give it a good rating. She gave it a medium rating, but what she said about it was just funny, and it's appreciated. Thank you. Oh, Armor. That was such a good little book. If you haven't read that, check it out. It's actually really decent. Surprised. Iron Diver, about a month ago, said, I first read this book in 1985 on a road trip. I've lost count of how many times I have reread it. Felix is best described as an anti-hero. True. To say that he has baggage is an understatement. Oh, yeah. I know. He is severely traumatized by his past, yet he retains a deep sense of right and wrong. I'll leave it up to you guys if you go and check his comment out. But his comment is very insightful, and it's right on. It's on the nose, and I like the way he wraps his comment up, too. Felix does what he does because of who he is. He can put up a front, avoid, go far away, or hide in an anonymous suit of black scout armor. But in the end, he is Felix. And then the quote at the end, that puts the cherry on. Well done. Matt, talking about Ender's Game, whenever it was Ender's Shadow. I think it was the first one of those. I got this book accidentally from the library, assuming it was the sequel to Ender's Game. When I realized what I had done, I thought I had wasted my time. I was a little upset at myself, but I started reading it anyway and loved it. And I'll consider Shadow to be an absolute must-read after Game before any other book in the series. When I recommend Ender's Game, I always mention that Shadow is part of the experience and also needs to be read. Dude, you're dead on that. That, if I were to give an order, I would back you up on that. On the first 2 books of that series to read is Ender's Game and Ender's Shadow. Multiplication Domination, Bobaverse Review. This one is from Jared. This is the only book I've ever listened to twice in a row consecutively. This was a good book. Yes, it was. And Lynette, I like the further interaction with the Pav, who were still suspicious of the Bobs even after 100 years. I found the Quinn and the Heavens River to be interesting, but most of all, I like the later Bobs starting to drift apart from the original Bobs. I love that Dennis made a subtle reference to Craig Allison's Skippy. I do hope that the next book has more exploration by the Bobs. Agreed. We'll destroy this book for free. By the way, I didn't come up with that title, but Humger, or Humger, with a space in the middle. Have you read the book Jam? Is from Yahtzee 2. I believe that I replied to that. Somebody else jumped onto it. As Shane's Review, it is worth a read or listen. I guess most people, including me. That was from Sean. So you know what? Since there's been more than one person that has told me about that, I'll just go ahead and get that book right now. And just so that you don't think that I was bluffing you, More Than Just a Movie, Blade Runner Review, from Lynette. During the 1980s and early 1990s, I read many of Philip K. Dick's books and short stories. My favorites were A Skinner Darkly and Ubik. Ubik was an interesting book, wasn't it? When I saw Blade Runner, I remember thinking how different it was from the book. My best friend loves the movie, whereas it would not be on my top 20 sci-fi movies. I have not seen the new movie. I am so lucky as far as COVID-19 goes. We have not had a new case in Tasmania for the last 3 months, and only 2 new cases in the last 6 months. And Australia kind of did that, where our leadership in my country, Jesus. This one is a channel discussion from Paul Haggerty. Shane, I think that your interpretation of Adjustment Day is both incorrect and incorrect. You've reacted to the appropriate things, but you haven't realized that this was the intentional part of the author. If you recall the ending more clearly, maybe go back and reread the ending. I think it will shift into place for you. And I did give his comment a thumbs up, and I didn't block his because even though he's calling me out, I haven't necessarily shared what my actual true most feelings about the book is. I respect his opinion, and I think that he was right for the most part. Even though this was a month ago, originally whenever I recorded that, the ending wasn't lost on me, but I kind of felt like it was a weak ending in a way. But quite frankly, I think that's the only ending that would work for that book. It's no longer Ender's Game. Great review. Love the book and the rest of the Shadow series. Thank you. Well, you're welcome. Thank you. So much detail, almost mind-numbing. This was about Dune. Is that Duncan Idaho Silhouette Shay from AC Rogue? I don't know. I did not do the edit. Do I need to look into something? Is the brother going to do it? The Sentinel review. Fred, I'm not going to try to pronounce your last name. I suck at names. Let's just be honest. But Fred, thank you for the comment. I agree that Reacher is a little bit different here. He just cooperates so much with everyone in this one. I like the Sentinel, but I wouldn't say it's top tier, Jack Reacher. But it at the very least belongs in the better half of the bunch. You are correct. Oh, and from Lynette about the same book. Can the Jack Reacher series be read as the standalone stories, or is it important to start at the very beginning? Let's see what everybody had to say about that. There's 4 replies in there. Personally, this was mine. Personally, I don't think you would need to read the entirety of the collection. Each book is, for the most part, standalone. The one thing that ties them together is Jack Reacher and his problem-solving techniques. Myself, I didn't start with book 1, but eventually found myself starting at the beginning and working my way through them. I have to be fully transparent on this. There was a time period after about the 6th or 7th book, or the next or 6 or 7 were just painful. But then the subject matter started to become unique to itself again, and I've enjoyed them ever since. And Lynette asked me, is there a particular book that you would recommend over the rest? Maybe the best of the lot. Fred, he replied to that saying, I have a personal holy trinity, 6, 7, and 1 to be the best 3, with 11 as a close runner-up. You know what? Killing the Floor was really good. So was Without Fail, Pursuing too. It really is a good one. And still, I agree with the list that he gave. The most recent comment was Peter Klein's 14. If you haven't read this and you like sci-fi, let me introduce you. Joy. I'm a few chapters in, but Terminus, look for it on Kindle, feels like a almost direct sequel. Also by Klein's. Definitely recommend you check that out if you haven't. My man, I have. Either here-ish or here-ish. There will be a thing that'll pop up. It'll be a link to that video. Oh, and then Medusa. Let's gaze over the details. A couple days ago from today, I'm almost done with it, and it's a great read from Young. Yes, it is. Well, thank you, Miro, for the comment. King of the World, a kid. I would like reviews on all books in the Enderverse. I want to know all the lore. Okay, if I said this a particular way, I would feel like I would have to follow through with it, but don't think that hasn't been something I've thought of. Lore is something that really I enjoy. Now, I don't go down the rabbit hole. I'm not Matt Pat. I'm not that kind of a person. Shadow the Hegemon is your favorite. That's interesting. The truth is Santa's origins. What an interesting, like I said, what an interesting little experience that was doing that during December. If that's the video that I think it is, Santa, I guess, for whatever reason, I decided I was Santa. Nobody stopped me, so I put the outfit on, and so much of that was not scripted. Most of that was just firing off the hip, and there was no imbuement or anything like that either. All of it was just off the cuff and just random. But Elfland was actually not a bad place. But the elves themselves, yeah. And then Lynette, of course. Christmas memes are boring. Bring back the cat memes. I don't do cat memes. Now, don't get me wrong. I can appreciate Hell Bingus. That's right, Bingus. Hell Bingus. But I don't spend my days looking at cat videos. And that, too, is a valid point, Lynette, on how to get on the naughty list. Yes. So I am aware that in separate hemispheres myself, I'm aware. Now, Santa Claus might not be. He might not get the concept that it might be summer in one place and winter in another. I think that gets us caught up. Oh, besides Joshua Moore, I don't do a sub for sub type of a deal just because YouTube itself frowns on that sort of a thing. But I would be down to have conversations. Joshua Moore, calling Joshua Moore. I'll check your channel out. Here's one from Chuck Palahniuk book. This is from Oliver Bay, I believe it is. I'm on the last chapter of this book. To be honest, I don't like the writing style too much, but the plot was interesting to the point. However, the character relationships and ending twist seems exaggerated. It made everything seem unrealistic. I felt lukewarm about this book is the bottom line. That's an interesting response on that. And you got to remember about Chuck. Chuck is always going to, well, in my humble opinion, Chuck is always going to try to prove a very large point by being completely exaggeration and in your face about the material. But I agree with you. Invisible Monsters was certainly one of the harder ones for me to get through, even though I've done it multiple times. It's just that you're right. It was so exaggerated and over the top at the end, but there was a point to it, I promise. Audible, why? Lynette, good suggestion on getting it from a different source. I tried that, and I just currently can't force myself to listen to Kindle's electronic voice. I can't. Let's see. And I believe that we're almost there. We're almost done. Yes, because there is Sphere, and I've already read that. The Fall by Peter Clowns, was it on par? We will forget that just happened. So Lynette, yes, that is an excellent option, and thank you. So I think that catches me up from the last couple of months. I figured instead of just putting a bunch of responses in late, I would actually address them and make comments here. Tell me if you enjoyed the experience or not. Editors, please be kind and don't shoot me about this. It's just an idea. Moving along. Well, we've got it. We've done it. We've got to that point. If you liked anything that you saw here, feel free to make a comment. If it has to do with Adjustment Day, I'm going to tell you I'm probably going to ignore it. But if you're still here, you are a personal hero. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it in a big, big way. You know what to do. Like, share, subscribe. Dance on the subscribe button. Subscribe? Yeah. And I'm not sure which one of the videos you'll pick that comes in from over there, but if you do pick one of those two videos, I will see you in the next video. Peace. Be good. Bye.